Ahoy there, and welcome back to Build the Boys, and I have issue 103 of Hachette's Build the Titanic. Now in this one, we got the single largest piece to date. This thing is bloody huge. And it does use the bolts that we used in the last one. I can show you the box this comes in. You get an idea of just how big we're talking. This is a big old lump. So all that is in this is literally the stand. There's nothing else in this. The bolts that we got in 102 are what we are going to secure the supports to this base. But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good. At the end of this one, we will be having our Titanic talk. But without further ado, let's get the box open. Let's get this one built. Okay, here we go. So this is very nicely packaged. I mean, they've put these corner protectors on here, which I might put back on until we finally use this. But those come off. Take this tissue off, and we'll take a look at the actual piece itself. Now, this is wood. It's a wooden board. So that is how we are now looking. And if I show you the underside of this, you can see we have a channel here for wires. Aha. I cannot, however, see anywhere for a battery box to go. So now I'm doubting the battery box actually goes inside here. But it's got to go somewhere we can access it to change the batteries. But let's get this one built. Okay, so this is the way around we're working, where we're going to have these two diagonal holes and this hole here facing us. So that's how we know which way is which. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this one first, which is our one with the wires in it. Now, this is going to slot into the end here. So that's where it's going to go, but we need to make sure our wires go through and our wires go through correctly. So both of the wires are going to go through the central hole. So we're going to take both wires and they're going to thread through this hole here. So there's the first one in, there's the second one in, and then we're going to pull those through. So lifting this up, whoop, get through. So we'll pull those right through. There we go. Okay. Those are three. Now these will line up and this will slot into place, I hope. There's one, and there's two. There we go. Right. So that's how you now be looking. So the wires are disguised. The wires have gone underneath, so you can't see the wires. Beautiful, beautiful thing. Next thing we do is we're going to flip this one over, and we're going to put two of the bolts in place to hold this in. So let's get this flipped up. Okay, so that is how you will now be looking from the underside. Just like that. So we are going to put in two of these very large bolts into the bottom here. Now I'm going to do this up. I'm trying to do this one-handed because, as you can see, I buggered my hand up. And if you're wondering, how'd you do that, Scott? Put screwdriver straight through it. And it sucks. Okay. But yeah, I'm not planning on doing that again. But hey, if you've never put a screwdriver straight through your hand, can you even consider yourself a modeler? I don't think so. Right, I've got the second one to put in the bottom there. I'm going to get that. Okay, so that's that one screwed in. These are tight. These are, I mean, they're tough. Those aren't easy screws to go in because, I mean, you are cutting into wood. So we're going to go through here and then through here with our wires. I'm going to pull those all the way through. So they will sit like so. Now I'm really hoping, there's got to be. I'm looking at it, there's got to be. There's more to this base. There's a lot more to this base. It's got to be. So originally I thought this was it. There's not, because I mean all this has got to screw into something. So there's more going on with this base. I think this is just part of the base. Yeah. The next thing we do is we're going to screw in the other supports. So flipping it around, taking the other end, we're going to take our stand. There we go. In it goes. And we'll use 3 screws in here, here, and here to get that one in. So there is our completed work. It is big and it is solid. But either more is going on top of this or this is sitting on top of something else. Because what are these holes for? I mean, I'm assuming there's a plate, a nameplate or something that goes on there. But then we got something, I don't know. But we'll find out. If I can find a picture of the original picture of the base, I will, and I'll throw it up now. If I can't find it, apologies, but I'll see if I can find one. So that's that one done. I'll show you exactly what it looks like. She's got some point of reference frame. There we go. So that's how we're looking. Now this, as I said, it's wood. I think. If it's not, I don't know what the bloody hell material is. It's wood. This is definitely wood. But it's looking nice, right? So I can see it's like I said, I'm not delirious about the fact it just sits on there. That there's nothing, but it is what it is. But this doesn't start on anything else. I did find a picture of the stand. I want you to pay particular attention to the middle of this. So take a look at this picture. Now, where that name plaque is, I believe that's not just a name plaque. I believe that's the battery box. I think there's a name plaque masking the battery box because I can see where it would go here. There's two holes at the back. No idea what those are for. But the ones at the front are where that Titanic plaque name's going to go. And I'm assuming that that's the battery box. That's what it is. So in the middle underneath the ship is the battery box and whatnot. That is what I think is there. Could be wrong, but I don't think I am. But it's sturdy, it's solid and it's sturdy. So if any of you have any concerns about that, don't worry about it because it's solid. It's not going anywhere. And I can feel it's going to be able to take the ship nicely. Again, I'm not delirious about the fact that it's just loose, and I don't like the fact that we have those two connectors jutting out like that because I would imagine placing Titanic on this thing perfectly is not the easiest thing to do, but we'll see. We'll see. At least you got in the right space. I suppose with those, it'll line up. You haven't got it too much one way or the other, but it is what it is. That's all for the build instructions for this one. Thank you for stopping by. If you haven't yet, please remember to both like and subscribe. It helps our channel massively. And we just want you all the way to the voyage of this one when our beautiful girl's ready to set sail. You can contact us by buildingtheboys@outlook.com. Those who stick around for our Titanic talk, a question that gets asked quite a lot about Titanic is, could this have been avoided? Yes, 100%, right? So that's the one thing we do know for a fact. Yes, there were hundreds of opportunities to avoid what happened with Titanic. But there was a degree of arrogance. But we're going to talk about that in 104. But in this one, the question that rarely gets asked, could it have been worse? Yeah, it could have. Because the future of Titanic isn't really touched upon. I mean, we know about the maiden voyage and that's it. We don't really talk about what was next. Well, Titanic was going stock in New York and it was going to have a 3-day turnaround. So it was going to take 3 days to put the ship into a condition where it was good to sail again. That means recoalings, they'd have to coal it back up, they'd have to do all the laundry, everything, restock it, 3 days. And that was considered fast. That was considered a lightning fast turnaround for that ship. But 3 days is what it was going to take. And she was due for her return voyage from New York to Southampton on April 20th. Now, why this would have been so much worse is because, unlike her maiden voyage, where she was about 2/3 at capacity, they'd oversold for the return. So it was going to be full. Basically, Titanic was sold out for its return voyage. The loss of life would have been far, far, far greater because, I mean, there already wasn't enough lifeboats for the people that were on board and it wasn't at capacity. So the return voyage was sold out and there was never any planned return voyage. Of course there bloody was. You could basically book Titanics for a year, tickets for a year in advance. Here is an advert advertising the Olympics sailing on the 17th and Titanic ship sailing on the 20th. You can see it right here. So, I mean, Titanic's sinking was a tragedy, but it would have been so much worse because you could tack another 1,000 onto that death figure. Easy. And that would have been, Jesus. It doesn't even bear thinking, does it really? But Titanic could have been avoided. Of course it could have. There were so many opportunities to avoid it from happening, but it wasn't just the technical issues. It wasn't just there was a degree of arrogance, and not just with Titanic, with industry in general. And we're going to talk about that in the next one, where we're also going to touch on how or if the Titanic incident had any effect on World War One. It's an interesting one. But we'll be back very, very soon with issue 104. We'll be talking all about that. Thank you for stopping by. If you haven't yet, please remember to like and subscribe. It helps us massively. And we just like having you around. Please contact us if you'd like to contact us at buildwiththeboys@outlook.com. And remember, we've got a fantastic Facebook page for all your modifications you could possibly need, which the link is down below. So spin over, join in. Let's talk Titanic. It's fun. In a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice. And I'll see you very, very soon for issue 104. Take care, and I will see you soon.